Hiya, buddies.
Hey,
Welcome
buddies.
to another exciting edition of Barn Burner here on the YouTubes and wherever it is you're taking it in. Of course,
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
That's right.
It's really catching on here 2 years in. I've been really enthused by how contagious.
Yeah, it's play to your strengths.
Yeah, okay.
Every team has guys good at different things. You are our you're good at it. You're the best at it.
Do you wear jeans with your Hawaiian shirts all the time, though, or is
I don't really have jeans anymore. I don't know what happened. I had a pair.
Yeah,
in
you're
the
not
summer.
a jeans guy.
I have been many times, but not right now. I think they're too tight. It's a problem. And now the loose jeans are in. I don't have any loose jeans.
You're okay with the loose jeans? You don't like the Wrangler?
Well, I just was on the rather tight side, and now that's incredibly out of style, I'm told.
Is it?
And the zippers are like opening on them. I don't know. It's not a good scene.
Yeah. What is in as far as fashion?
It's baggy. Have you seen all the baggy stuff?
Dean,
totally, it's
you got a camera? You've got a screen. Just look right in the middle slot right there.
This is what's in.
That's it.
We are the trendsetters.
Yeah.
We are true fashion plates.
Yeah.
Guy in a Hawaiian shirt, guy in a hoodie.
Bringing it back.
No one's shaving. It's good. Yeah, we've got it going. Hey, this program is a presentation of Bet365, the world's largest sports betting platform. You can open an account with Bet365 today. Huge range of markets out there for you.
Huge.
Download the app. Use the promo code NATION. If you haven't already signed up, use that when you do so. And whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And if you so choose during the course of the show, you can take part in the Super Chat. It's a small cash little donation through the YouTube, and we will make sure all the money gets to the youth centers of Calgary.
Just that one guy donated $100 for a Wolf win, 300 for a shutout.
Just big win, yeah. We'll have to keep them
honest.
Yeah. Do we have to be accountable for that, or is it?
He does. We don't.
Okay.
We'll just transfer whatever we get to the youth centers of Calgary.
That's right. That's what we'll do. Not a game day. Yesterday, not a game day. Tomorrow, game day. For the Flames, anyway. Right? Have I got that? Because there was some.
That is correct. There's a game tomorrow for the Flames. It was supposed to be the second half of 2 in a row against the Kings, but obviously tragedy in LA, so they canceled the other one.
Yeah, that's not going well, is it?
Stoned
down there, damn.
No, not good at all.
Not good. Now, the news. I see people in the chat are there's some celebrating that in terms of Connor Zary, who was injured a few nights ago in Anaheim. This from Frank Seravalli, which, I mean, does it? Frank bomb, well, it's a Frank bomb, baby, big Frank bomb, yeah. It's a Frank bomb, get ready for a big Frank bomb. Update, bit of good news on Flames forward Connor Zary, as sources say initial imaging on Thursday indicated no damage to ACL or MCL in his left knee.
We already had that. We had that for you on Afterburner.
That's right. Still assessing injury and more medical opinions required to determine exact timeline, but a couple major bullets dodged. That from Frank.
Again, what we told you on Tuesday's Afterburner. Exactly that.
Pretty sure that's what I said.
Yeah.
No. It was the guy that told you that on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That you ran through the ringer and he hasn't showed up to watch the show since. You ran him through the ringer.
Is that right?
That's I don't recall running it. Who ran who?
What? You weren't at the table. You were busy hammering pie with your old teammates.
No one knows what you're talking about, so that's good. So
good news on Tuesday. They do, yes.
So I was on Afterburner. I still don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you were hammered. You were drinking vitamin B.
I was. Pretty good shape, I'd say.
Thoughts?
Good.
I don't know, like, if there's no ligament damage, what else is there? Like, is there still a meniscus concern? Like, I don't know if this eliminates a long-term time frame or not.
He just didn't know he's double jointed, Dean.
Is he?
He's double jointed. Now he knows. So it can bend backwards. He's a camel. I said it on Afterburner the other day. He's a camel.
Flamingos, they can really bend backwards. Have you seen that before?
Sorry, guys. Just I have a very
sucks is Zary looks like a faker because he was really in a lot of.
He was in a lot of pain.
How do you say that word? WRITH.
writhing.
Yeah, in pain.
Yes, he was.
It's not writhing, it's writhing.
Writhing. And we do have the official recall just announced by the Flames as well, Dean.
Oh, well, then,
Barn burner.
We do have breaking news this morning.
This via press release moments ago. The Calgary Flames announced today they have recalled center Rory Cairns from the AHL's Calgary Wranglers. Cairns is enjoying a breakout season with the Wranglers, posting an AHL leading 21 goals, along with 13 assists and 34 points, ranking him second in the entire league in scoring. 22-year-old, playing very well. He's up. Drafted by the Flames in the 6th round in 2020. Headed with the Sioux Greyhounds in the O, 118 points during his final season.
Need to put the fade on that, eh? Probably like a little instead of the hard.
Yeah, just the tail there would be nice.
Yeah, tail. Okay. Do you want me
So
to
no
do it
surprise,
right now?
we
I'll do it
thought
right
that center Cairns made sense. Been great in the A.
Also, they're going to bring up the centerman to replace the centerman that's played really well in the A.
Yep.
I had confidence they do the right thing, and clearly, again, they have done it.
Well, we'll see. Yeah.
Are you being cheeky?
No, I'm not being cheeky. Who else are you going to call up?
You could call Stromgren, but he's a winger, and I don't know that we want to see more Sharon Govich at center. But yeah, I think Cairns was the.
You still might see Sharon Govich at center, but Cairns is the guy to call up. Might not play. Christ,
Rory. I heard you guys were talking about it yesterday. It's not like this is a 30-year-old journeyman. This is a guy that they drafted, albeit late in the 2020 draft, which in a lot of ways is kind of a forgotten draft because the world was a mess back then. But yeah, he's 22. He's a center. And to your point, those are okay numbers for a guy plying his trade in the American Hockey League.
Yeah, it's his second full year in the A, and he's leading them in goals and second in points. That's a really, really good thing because what you'll see typically at the top of the AHL scoring leaders is sort of these quad A guys, veterans that are not NHLers on AHL-only contracts that are hired guns to be good at that level. He's a prospect still. The feet have never been great, but if he keeps putting up numbers, who cares?
Poor guy.
I mean, that's what you said about Matthew Tkachuk. You'd take him every day of the week, right?
Smashing on his foot speed for days and days. Rory, screw Pinder. You
strength,
go out there and
playmaker.
Score some goals and prove him wrong.
Matthew Tkachuk doesn't have great foot.
No, you take him. Yeah,
you'd take him. Sure, you would.
Yeah.
That
has been the question, and he's to this point proven it not to be an issue at any level he's played at. We'll see if it's an issue at the NHL level.
So that's good. And I know you. I also saw the clip there, Rhett. You were like, "Well, I'm not too going to get overboard with excitement as to what this guy's going to do, but you know what? We're going to cheer him on." Is that fair to say? Was that your assessment?
Yeah, I'm not going to be cheeky about it. I'm not going to say
he's leading the league in goals, fellas. You're allowed to be excited, right?
Is the league or the team?
The league.
He's leading the league.
I just read to you.
Well, I don't trust everything you read. You're like Ron Burgundy. Like if it's
Cairns is enjoying a breakout season with the Wranglers, posting an AHL leading 21 goals.
Well, that seems low for the A, but I guess it's halfway.
You don't look.
I'm not criticizing. It's just conversation, Ryan.
Yeah,
it's just conversation. I'm not questioning your stats. It's good.
That's the Flames press release. Yeah.
If anything, it's a good stat because both Rhett and I were taken aback by it.
Yes. Having a marvelous
what?
Year.
Well, actually, it pissed me off because it's like I'm losing confidence because these guys can't score, and you got the leading goal scorer in the AHL sitting down there twiddling his thumbs, wasting his time. Like,
well, I mean, they got Kevin.
Get him up here.
They got we couldn't move Rooney.
Is that what it is now? Because
yes,
it's a quick 180 from Red. You see how pliable he is?
Because he's got
excited. Whatever. How did they call this guy up there last and score? What are they doing there?
Yes. Oh, we've got the best goal scorer in the other league, but we can't score at all. Let's leave him there.
point per game, leading the league in goals. Rory Cairns has 21 goals. That is tops in the American League. Ethan Frank of Hershey has 20.
Heath.
And Samuel Fagemo has 19. So
and
there
we
you
don't
go.
have those guys, so who
No.
cares? But like,
No.
we can't score at all. We're terrible.
It's a surprisingly low total, but a lot of these teams and players are sort of in the low 30s of games played. 2/3 of a goal a game is very tidy.
Boy, we should have more points if we had a guy like that up here.
Well, we will see what he is as an NHL player soon.
He had a great start. He roaried out of the gate with 7 in his first 4 as far as goals are concerned.
And you get a hat trick early.
Yeah, he had a big boom bust start.
Yeah,
to the season. Yeah, had one of those.
So only 17 goals in his last 30 games. Still very good.
Yeah. Still good enough for me. I'll take it.
Very excited. I mean, you
Sure.
could have called up Dryden Hunt, but I like this a little more.
Yeah, well, let's
You could have.
get some guys.
Do another.
Dryden Hunt is not leading the AHL in scoring. It's
Sure
he's
nice.
not.
Like, come
Top
on.
20, but he's not leading it.
It's not. You want to lead the league? Maybe we'll give you a sniff.
Go ahead.
Rory took that to heart. He said, "Well, look at me. Only 5 of the 21 have come in the power play. Hey,
Even strength.
guy's a machine. Got to come up with some kind of a
Poor bastard's going to get stuck playing
Rory.
with Blomberg.
We'll figure something out.
Rory.
These are our opening statements for McLeod Law, in case you were wondering.
They are.
Do we
Just
know?
in case you were
Do
wondering.
we know any doctors?
At McLeod Law?
Yeah,
No.
but they would have personal injury.
They would
Attorney.
probably have some ties to the
So if
medical
they're
field.
not doctors, they're damn well versed in
Yeah.
Oh, they know. Yeah, they know.
anatomy.
Yeah.
So maybe they should send Zary to these guys. They
Why don't you
need
do the
more
read?
opinions. It said right in the press release.
Sure.
Frank's bomb.
Yep. Frank's bomb. What they do have is Shane King. So if Zary gets fired, if they just kind of cancel his
For
contract,
faking.
Shane is in the litigation and dispute resolution group, specializing in areas like employee rights. Because if you're laid off or terminated, it can be what the H is going on here. Shane will review your situation, make sure you've been treated fairly and as the law requires. Practical approach, none of that legal jargon that's going to get. I don't really know what you're saying. It's McLeod Law, Calgary people, Calgary born and bred, and that's what it's all about. Good people, the best in the business, just happen to be living in our fine city, McLeod-law.com. So yeah, if Conroy tries to pull a fast one on Zary, then maybe he'd want to get a hold of Shane King.
See your point, Rhett.
Could I speak with someone in the litigation and dispute resolution department? I'll get Shane King for you. Please stand by. I don't think they'll do that, though. They'll probably pay him, keep his contract in place, and help him mend.
So what does this, the Frank bomb actually tell us? Like, I don't think it tells us anything about timeline.
No, well, he's on the. I mean, I'll say this. I reached out to. They don't want to say much because they don't know. Does he have a broken leg? No. Does he have is the dislocated kneecap? Is the kneecap? No. I think what it is I think they are being cautiously optimistic, but to come out and say, hey, we dodged a major bullet, things are great. They don't necessarily know that yet. They're just going to try and.
We don't want a Demko thing.
That's right.
That one muscle no one had ever heard of.
Yes.
Don't want Demko. You don't.
The Kragalaga
don't want to do it.
No, because here's the thing. Like, it's nice that you don't have ligament damage, but there's a lot of other things that might not be great. And you could probably come out and say week to week, but you don't want to lead people to believe, oh, like maybe by the end of January and then he misses the whole year. Like, I still think there's a very wide range of outcomes here.
I do too. And you know what it is too. Don't miss something. This isn't the Flames saying, hey, we're holding a press conference and we'd like all of you to come and hear what we have to say. And then they come out and say, well, we don't think there's much. This is Frank badgering Craig Conroy.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you got for me? What can you tell me? Is there anything you can tell me? What can you tell me? Just on the record off this sort of thing. Well, looks like there's maybe no, but we don't really know. Ligament damage looks like we've maybe avoided that. That's what it is. So blame Frank is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm into that.
For being a pain in the old
knee
keister.
ligament.
Took us.
Yeah, right back there. right back there. But yeah, I mean, he's put him on the IR. He's going to miss some time.
Come on, the minimum time would be what, 10 days post-dated to the game. So that's a week from now. Like it's still all the outcomes are still there.
Next opponent will be the LA Kings. Was supposed to be the last one, wasn't, will be at some point in the future. Do we have any kind of ideas to what that timeline would look like when they'll make good that game?
Yeah. Pike had an article on Flames Nation yesterday. Essentially, there's only so many open dates at Staples.
Yeah.
All of them have conflicts with the Flames and the Kings until April 17, which is the last day of the NHL schedule, and the Kings nor the Flames are playing. So that would be the safest bet, but certainly not done. And Rhett was wowed that Pike could somehow get all this info.
Well, I called Pike. He also informed me that there's lots of chatter about a neutral zone site game, and maybe.
You called Pike?
Yeah.
Can I use my bullshit card here, Dean?
Like you called Pike, did
Pike
you?
and I were discussing the Flames and Kings makeup.
Of course
game.
you were, yeah.
In your called Pike
routine conversations that you have with Pike.
Well, when I do my,
digging, your work,
when I'm digging into this stuff and doing my rounds, I'm like a doctor. I'm doing my rounds. I'm calling all the people that are talking about all the teams and all the
So you called Pike and not Connie or?
Well, he's doing his rounds. He probably called them all, right?
Yeah. Or Donnie Maloney, or
I'm doing everyone, man. I want to call.
Yeah.
How are you going to get the info?
That's right. How are you going to get the info?
Homework, Dean.
Yeah.
Do your homework, Dean.
Well, and speaking of neutral sites, we got one coming up on the weekend.
Monday.
Claire's home?
No.
Oh.
Well, you did your calling. I'm guessing it stems up more than just Flames and hockey. The big NFL news that came out, the neutral site game.
That almost makes me sad.
Yeah.
It's not the best news. It
Not
is
the best.
Totally feel like it was going to happen. And
Rams and Vikings are going to play in Phoenix with the fires and everything going on in the LA area. Probably the right move to move it away from SoFi. So they will play in, I guess, Glendale. Saw somebody making the observation this morning online that so the NFL moves this to the stadium that's sponsored by the insurance company that just gassed everybody's insurance.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how you're allowed to do that. You're like, hey, all that fire insurance you've been paying into for 25 years, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Huh?
Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. It's not about that. Kings are in Winnipeg tonight.
It's the Velarde revenge match.
Yeah, so that was scheduled. It's not like that's a big kind of a whoops. This is Winnipeg for them last night or tonight, and then tomorrow. Last night they are. Oilers lost a tough one.
Oh,
Oilers, because they're 2 back of Edmonton for second in the Pacific, and I think they probably thought we're going to Pittsburgh. We're just going to hammer these Penguins. And Sid and the boys, Jack, they said,
not today.
Ricky Rax.
Ricky Rax is right. Yeah.
We like that nickname around here.
Yeah, you guys do.
It's awesome.
You're quite fond of it for sure.
Good.
Yeah. 5-3 over the Oilers. Feel like maybe the Oilers took your guys a little lightly. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that.
And Dino, you know what we hit yesterday on our 365 bets? We had the multi-point Crosby game and 4 shots from Draisaitl. We're rolling in it right now.
Yeah, but
Units.
You lowered your unit. You shrunk your unit.
Did you shrink your unit?
No, I didn't shrink
Well, you said you were gonna.
But some other bets I've been shrinking units, not on the Crosby multi-point. That was a full unit. Just
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Happy for you.
Thanks, buddy.
Anyway, we'll talk more about Kings and that coming up in a little bit.
So that'll be the second half of a back-to-back here. That's interesting.
Just kind of a foreshadowing, kind of a teaser. Very good in terms of goals against. You've got a team that doesn't score a lot against a team that's good at keeping the puck out. Darn.
Yeah, but
time to go to the Insider Hotline, a presentation of Crystal Waters Plumbing and Heating, your crystal clear choice for all residential plumbing, heating, and cooling services. Barn burner customers who need a new hot water heater, an AC or furnace, you'll get discounts, upgrades up to $1,000 in value. Solution for all budgets, including financing, affordable payment plans. Call 403-219-4100 or online, crystalclearcalgary.com. as we welcome TSN Hockey Insider and our buddy, Darren Dreger. Good day, Dregs. How we doing?
Yeah, we're doing okay, fellas.
Nice.
Just kind of keeping it real, checking out what's going on, or more importantly, what's not going on with certain teams around the NHL. So that's kind of where we're at the midseason point.
Is it as, because we're Toronto, Brad Treliving, he's circling around Vancouver. He's checking in on the two centers. Is it as hot with Vancouver as we're being led to believe? Or if you call it, we're not doing much, is that, Treliving's all over? Do you know what I mean? I'm just wondering, to what extent are these conversations happening with Vancouver right now?
Well, with Toronto and Vancouver?
Or just in general, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think we can pretty much snuff out if there's a Toronto rumor, and I haven't seen it. I mean, Toronto can't shop in that level of high rent. Not if you're talking about Pettersson or JT Miller. And again, remind everybody that JT Miller has a full no move clause, so he's not going anywhere unless he wants to go there. And the Canucks have yet to present him with anything. So, I always kind of roll my eyes a little bit when we in other markets around Canada look at Toronto, look at Vancouver, and go, oh yeah, that's just the market. I mean, they stir crap up there. That's what they do. It's kind of old habit for them. Well, no, I mean, if you drill down on what's gone on in Vancouver, I mean, there's a reason to talk about Elias Pettersson and JT Miller and everything that is, kind of contributed to the drama that is a painful existence. I mean, Rick Tocchet has done masterful work trying to keep the pieces of that puzzle together. It's a tricky one, though. Now you put yourself in Patrick Allvin's office, and you've had multiple trade conversations about Pettersson, especially, because he doesn't have the same level of trade protection. Aren't you a little bit concerned that, okay, maybe he comes off injury here, and he's had time to really drill down and focus on what he has to do to be a better hockey player. And all of a sudden he starts to apply it, but you're not convinced. Or worse, you trade him, you get a decent package back, but then all of a sudden he goes, okay, well, you know what? There's a moral check here. I got to look in the mirror. This is about me. It's not about everybody around me. And he tunes himself up, and again becomes a more well-rounded and better hockey player. And then in hindsight, you're looking back and going, geez, we didn't do very well there. I'm always reminded of the old adage, when you move the best player in the trade, there's no way you're going to win that trade, right? And that's true. But in Vancouver's case, yeah, you can have the best player in the deal in Elias Pettersson, but if he's not what you need to get you over the hump to make you a contending team, then why are you hoarding an asset that maybe can bring in two or three other pieces that make you better? And I'm sure that that's kind of the mental warfare that's happening inside the management offices in Vancouver as well.
That could almost be like a Dubois, Winnipeg,
sure,
to LA, right? You're conceivably giving up the best player, but it's not what you need, and you got multiple pieces, and they've been better off for it. So yeah, it's interesting to watch. I still, because of the no trades, I just think that it all becomes so very difficult. You've got to find, like you say, you got to find teams that this is a fit, and you like the return, and they can make the money work. And then you got to go to the player and say, we've gone over all these hurdles. Now, how do you feel about going to City X? It just seems nearly impossible.
And look, we did a regional game last night, Toronto and Carolina. And our good pal, Chris Johnson, earlier this week on Insider Trading connected the possibility of Carolina and Vancouver with Pettersson in mind. And this isn't necessarily new. I mean, I believe it was last year where Carolina, there were conversations about Pettersson and the Carolina Hurricanes, and it swirled around Marty Necas. Like, for whatever reason last year, Necas wasn't happy with his ice time. His dad, I think, spoke out. Like, there was all sorts of stuff that went on around that group. And yeah, I mean, what CJ reported is 100% factual. Carolina is among the teams that has explored and probably has gone pretty deep in the conversation with Vancouver on Pettersson. So I'm watching this game last night. And then, all right, well, is it conversation, or have they actually talked about some of the pieces that could be in play? And instantly you have to be looking at Necas as part of that package, I would think, if you're Vancouver. And then what is the plus? or the plus plus, if that's even required at that point, because keep in mind who the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes is, Tom Dundon. I mean, he throws dollars around like manhole covers. This guy is frugal. Even with, his head coach, he found a way to grind him almost into submission. So that's what we're doing now, again, at the midpoint. Yeah, everybody's got their trade bait boards out there, right? Player X is, okay, number 1 is Pettersson, number 2 is JT Miller, and then who's 3, 4, and 30 on those lists? We all have them. But now you're getting to a point where you see teams like Boston and other clubs who are swirling in that world of desperation. And you're like, okay, well, it's more than tire kicking now, isn't it? It's more about maybe I do try and get that player or make my move early. You've got 4 nations coming up. You've got a lot of stuff in the way before March 7th. So I think that's why some of the speculation is heating up.
When we talk about the trade deadline and just teams that are going to be moving pieces, it generally defaults to teams that are near the bottom. You're last, you're second to last, that sort of thing. But this year I look at teams that are kind of in the hunt, that have been perennial sellers, that I wonder if they look at this year's like we're turning the corner, whether fans think we have. You've got Columbus today in a wild card spot. Wow. Ottawa is 3 points back. Montreal's had that great push, and I know Kent Hughes came out and kind of maybe poured some water on that. Right. In the West, Utah, new owner, new situation. They're 5 points back. I just wonder if maybe all of a sudden you're looking at Columbus and Ottawa, these teams, as being potential buyers that could make some noise in unusual fashion.
Yeah, or somewhere in the middle, right? Looking for that quote unquote hockey trade if you're Columbus, because can you afford to buy, and what are you using as your currency if you're buying? If you're trading away Provorov, you better be getting something decent back. And I know there's an ongoing negotiation there. So, there's an equal chance they find a way to extend him. Tarasov, the goaltender, I see that he's on loan now to the American League. That one is curious to me. That one's curious because he's an interesting goalie. So again, there's a chip that maybe Donnie Waddell decides to play in the not too distant future. But there are teams, Boomer, to your point, that we're looking at, and not necessarily teams that are, right at that cut line or in the playoff mix. I'm thinking of Seattle. There's a team that's swirling right now. What is Ronnie Francis going to do? Because I like Ronnie Francis as a general manager, but I also know the expectation of ownership in Seattle and where they thought they'd be by now. And if they don't get there and they're in danger, or it's pretty evident by March 7th, they're out of the playoff mix. All right. Well, do they cut bait again and start moving out some intriguing pieces beyond Yanni Gordon, guys like that? So there's a lot of teams that are encroaching on that possibility of buying. Oh, sure, buy. But what are you selling? What are you giving up to acquire that piece that might make you better?
How's that 7-year deal for Chandler Stevenson working out? He's got one of the worst rates at 5-on-5 in the league. This is year 1. 7. Yeah. Like, that made no sense to me on July 1. That reeks of desperate GM, and that speaks to what you're talking about, Dregs.
It does, but I'm surprised that Stevenson hasn't worked out better, to be fair.
Last year the foot speed disappeared. Like it's kind of continues.
He's been such a useful player in so many scenarios, right? It just has not worked well there.
It really has not. And I tell you what, like going into the free agent season, I convinced myself it wasn't from an abundance of insider information. I just thought Chandler Stevenson was going to end up in Nashville. I did. I can envision how that was going to play out, right? It's just another exhibit of how players have a real good fit with an organization. And then, hey, I get it. There's a business side to this. If you're not getting the money that you're hoping to get, expecting to get, weren't even offered from the Vegas Golden Knights, well, what choice do you have? Of course, you're going to try and take a swing for it financially. And you get moved and it just doesn't work out. But he's up there, even though you're right. Maybe the foot speed isn't what it once was. You could say that about a few players of that vintage. I'm just really surprised at how things have gone so poorly for him this year.
Turns 31 in April, year one.
But that's the player's scenario, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Of course, the player's going to do that and try to get paid, and he's got to think about that. It's more curious to me. I always go back to it. NFL football astounds me. They draft these quarterbacks and the first round, and they've spent more money than and they don't turn out. And you're like, how can the NFL, with all the resources they have, F this up? And I don't know if they're effing it up or if it's the players, but there is an analysis or something. Like they're evaluating these guys. They believe them to be they're going to be the next Steve Youngs, right? All of them, and nobody turns out. How is it like GMs? July 1st, continually, all over and over. There's always these, and I guess maybe it's just odds, but there are always signings where you go, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's out of left field. Where do they come from?
Some of it's ego driven, to be fair.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, and you do see it often in free agency, where a general manager will look at a player. Maybe he has history with that player, whatever level of hockey, as a assistant general manager with another club, maybe in major junior hockey, wherever, where they're like, no. I know this guy. I know how to push his buttons. I've got the right coach who's going to find a way to drag it out of him again. So, and then on top of that, and the Canadian markets feel this above the other teams around the National Hockey League. Let's use Chris Tanev as an example. Chris Tanev did not deserve the term at his age that he got from the Toronto Maple Leafs. No chance. And
it's a Rhode Island player.
Yeah,
right?
And the Dallas Stars would have absolutely loved to have kept Chris Tanev. And they've suffered in Dallas because they don't have that type of defenseman. And he's an all-around good character guy. But I think Brad Treliving's approach was, well, I'm not going to miss on the player. I need that defenseman. And I know him. I know the quality of the player. So what do I care about the term? I'll figure it out down the path. I mean, what do I care about term is an exaggeration. But I think that plays a hand into a lot of the deals that get made, especially with some of the veteran players that we see surprisingly signed to some of the money and some of the term on an annual basis.
Is there some of that's maybe wise? Because we kind of had a talk. We were talking about it the other day about where the Flames are at and what kind of player, what age, and the structure of contract and term and that sort of thing. And I feel like a lot of times if you wait for everything just to fall into place, well, we've got everybody in the right age group and our contracts make sense.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe you have to, you have to step outside. This is the player we need right now. I don't know what the world's going to be hockey wise or anything in 3 years from now. Shit, I'll worry about it 3 years from now. Maybe we buy him out, maybe we don't, but I'll worry about it then. Right now, we have what I believe is a chance. We're gonna go for it. I just wonder sometimes if teams maybe are paralyzed a little bit by it's 5 years. I was gonna go 4 or 3. You know what I mean?
Isn't Treliving a good example of that? Because you bring him back to here, he signs Kadri because he thinks that's the piece. He knows that's probably too long too, but he's like, F that. I got to get a guy. And we're in win now mode. And
trades for Hamonic when he thought he was a piece away. There was a lot of we're one guy away moves, and they never were close to being one guy away. And all those deals you regretted.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Sometimes I wonder if GMs just do that, you kind of all right, grab a hold, give them a twist, and let's give it a shot. And I'm sure that it's paid off. I'm trying to think of guys off the top of my head, but
hey, on the short term, again, if I'm using Tanev as my example, I think it's paid off in Toronto.
6 months in,
6 months in.
It's a 5-year deal, right? Like, let's be honest,
pretty good. Let's see what it looks like, a year from now, 2 years from now. Maybe it's not as sparkling as it appears to be right now, but in many ways, it does feel like that's the cost of doing business because, the National Hockey League, because of the cap primarily, has become a very cyclical sport. I talked in our podcast, Ray and I talked about the Vegas Golden Knights and speculated on what Kelly McCrimmon may have up his sleeve. I always joke about him being the mad scientist, right? He's got a bit of cap space now. We can see the need up front. Is he going to swing for the fences? And I wouldn't say that he was offended by that commentary, but in fairness to him, that's just a flip comment and expectation from a management group in Vegas that has done a lot of work since, dropping into the National Hockey League as an expansion team. But, I guess they've done a ton of work in the last several months in getting to a place this season where they like where they are organizationally. And honestly, aside from, having a need, I'm sure they'd like to add a veteran piece up front. But beyond that, they're set. They're pretty deep there. So it's less about, Kelly McCrimmon having to be super creative and aggressive and all of that. And certainly not sitting back, but maybe looking at the league now and patiently waiting for the right possibility. I'm sure he's got a whiteboard that has 20 names on it that he'd like to investigate, and probably has put the lines in the water, but it's not to the same place of necessity because, and it's still early. We're at the midpoint. I was going to say, because for the most part, Vegas is healthy, and we know that could change pretty quickly in regard to the Golden Knights. But general managers do approach things differently for different reasons, depending on what their situation is currently.
Well, and just the thought on Vegas, Ryan, if I'm an owner, I'm fine having Kelly McCrimmon as my GM. I would rather have a guy that's swinging for it and wants to win, because I think it helps if you're going to take major chances.
Yeah.
If your hockey staff, if your hockey people are smart and know what the hell they're doing, if you're going to be able to find some pieces along the way to supplement positions where maybe you've traded away or whatever, I'd be worried if we're spending a lot of picks and we don't know what the hell we're doing at the draft, on the draft floor, or come trade deadline. I just think you have the luxury maybe of being a little bit more aggressive when you do know what the hell you're doing.
But they're also benefiting from where they are in the
sure.
world, right?
And
and that's you have to know your market. Kevin Cheveldayoff cannot treat. I don't think he can do it that way, and maybe all of Canada can't do it, right? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think every situation's got to be different, and McCrimmon can do it in Vegas because guys want to go there and play. They've had success. It might blow up eventually, and I appreciate what he's doing. I think it's great. But he also knows guys want to come here. Guys want to stay here. If I do go get them, I could keep them. I could probably get them at a good price. Yeah. And if I have to dump them, I'll find a way.
That's a great comparison. It really is. And not, you could put Winnipeg in that group with Vegas, with the Florida teams, with Dallas, with Nashville, all of the tax friendlier locales. We know this to be true. Anytime there's a free agent that Kevin Cheveldayoff covets, would like to bring in, automatically Winnipeg's down on the list, even though they're a top contending team. You get around the trade deadline, and there are players without trade protection in recent history that have found a way to say, I don't want to go to Winnipeg. What do you mean you don't want to go to Winnipeg? Like, you don't want to win? You don't want to live there? Okay, well, have a vacation spot somewhere else. You'll be fine. But you're right. Vegas doesn't have to deal with that. And some of these other tax-friendly centers don't deal with it either.
There was a signing. I forget who it was. Sorry, Ryan. Jumped in there on you. Good. But there was a signing, and I was wondering, who was it that signed this week and they took all that deferred money?
Oh, Vatrano.
Is that going to start to be a thing? Do you think that's a way for teams, the higher taxed places to can they manipulate that and take advantage of it? I mean, it comes down to the player willing to do it.
Right. But teams will try. Teams will try, and they'll probably do it more so with veteran guys. Vatrano was a surprise, similar to Seth Jarvis with the Carolina Hurricanes when he did it. John Tavares is on an expiring contract. He'd love to stay in Toronto. I would think that Treliving will try and get that AAV as low as possible. So that's a vehicle that he might be able to use. And he might be able to use it before the expiration date of the current collective bargaining agreement, because I think the NHL is going to step in and at least have the conversation the Players Association. Okay, what do we not like about this? Do we need to do something to curb it? The Vatrano one, to me, and this is just me, doesn't make sense. And no, it's not just me. A lot of player agents I spoke to after that deal hate it, think it's crazy, because you're talking about 10 years down the road. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm old school in that sense. You know, I want to earn my money, but I want to get paid. And then I want to put my money in the hands of the people that I trust to invest it and help my money grow. I don't want to have to think about deferred money 10 years down the road. I mean, how do they know what the tax system is going to look like a decade from now? So that one was weird. It was just flat out weird. But for the older guys, there's two things that we're going to look at. And I don't want anybody's eyes to glaze over here who's paying attention or watching. So you've got the deferred salary, which you're right, is becoming more and more of a thing. And then you've got RCAs, which is the retired compensation agreement, right? And that's becoming more and more of a talking point in negotiations, mostly for the older player or the player who's at least in the back nine. And if he's looking at a multi-year deal, he might want that to be a part of it because he recognizes that it'll ultimately be his last contract. So there is some creativity. I'm just not sure if that deferred salary is the right way to go at this point.
Imagine if California closes that loophole and he's got to pay full tax on that anyway. Like, it's governments, right? Like, it's not like, oh, here's the rules now, that's what they're going to be in 10 years. Like, these municipalities and states and provinces are going to try to close these loopholes that are there, like the Ohtani one. And when you splash $700 million US in front of California's face and you say, oh, you're not going to get taxed on this, I'm going to pay this when I live somewhere else, they're going to put legislation in place to try to stop it. It would be an absolute disaster if you didn't get paid for 10 years and you still have to pay all the tax. And it was like you've lost a lot of money and a decade of accruing values. That would be
man. I mean, you're sounding like a lot of the agents that I've talked to who don't understand it and don't appreciate it. They just, but look, I mean, that's why you have good representation. And the guy who manages, Peter Fish, is an experienced agent. I mean, I guess if you want to give credit from a position of being devil's advocate, give credit to Solomon or whoever did it from Anaheim's perspective. It likely wasn't Pat Verbeek, but someone in that group. Because, and I love this when it came out, oh, hey, Anaheim, we're not that far away from being a cap spending team. So now we have to protect every nickel. I mean, unless Pat Verbeek goes out in free agency and just starts knocking them out of the ballpark and brings in a bunch of big contracts, they seem to be a ways away from needing or wanting or expecting to be a cap team. So I just don't know why Frankie Vatrano was the guy to experiment on this at this point.
Okay, so one conversation we've had a bunch in the last 2 weeks, and we've come back from vacation. We're thinking big picture. They're supposed to play Tuesday, they didn't. Like 10,000 foot view. Rasmus Andersson has 2 years left with the Calgary Flames on his contract. He makes $4.55 million. When he becomes a free agent, we're hearing the cap might be around $110 million. He might be worth double what he's making now in that new cap era in terms of percentage of the cap. Mm-hmm. He's also 28 now. He'll turn 30 the first month of his new deal. He feels like a max term guy. If it's Calgary, it'll be 8 years. If it's elsewhere, it's 7. If Chandler Stevenson's getting 7, he's going to get 7.
Yeah.
How the Flames treat Rasmus Andersson to us will be very revealing. Because is it we're not really going to strip it down to the studs and we'll just try to be, here and there, get value where we can on expiring contracts? Or is it like, hey, we're going to trade Rasmus now, get max return, bottom out a bit, and get into that range in the draft where you can find a superstar? How do you sort of view that whole decision with the Flames? Because we think it's going to be telling.
Well, I'm 100% with you, and you've laid it out beautifully, and I think it's too soon to say. It's too soon to say. If I was forced to answer, and I think if Craig Conroy was forced to answer, he would say that no, we're still in it to win. We still believe that we've got the guts, the nucleus of a group that can win. So in the moment, they would probably lean towards extending. But let's see where we're at as you get closer again to March 7th and the NHL trade deadline. It feels to me that they're a ways away from having to make that conversation. And I would think that internally, and by internally, I'm talking about the extended group, not just the few management types that exist with the Calgary Flames. Let's throw Iggy into the mix and everybody else. I would love to be a fly in the wall for those conversations, because I know what they were like going into this season, and there was great debate as to the direction the Flames should be headed in. Well, maybe it'll be more telling again as we get deeper into the second half and closer to March 7th. But I'd like to be the fly on the wall to listen to those conversations and the debate as to what direction they should go in. And Rasmus Andersson, to your point, I think will be a chip that is played. And when they make that decision, yes, very telling as to what direction they're headed.
You asked Dregs to put on his GM hat.
He's wearing it.
He's got to put on your GM hat.
Yeah, I did pretty good because I didn't really answer the question.
No, you sure didn't.
That was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
it's good though. I liked it. Yeah.
No, I mean, as you can imagine, we talk about it a lot. I rolled the clock back a year, and it was, what are you going to get for Lindholm and Hannafin and Tanev? It's like, well, you get a first to Foley. You're going to get, and I mean, they got a first here and there, and that sort of thing. But it kind of felt like either we overvalued the player, or we're not in those conversations. But it sure feels like Rasmus Andersson, given the player, the age, the ability, the shot, and the cap hit, it feels like there's a bonanza waiting at the end of the rainbow here.
Well, and a little bit of term, right? If the consideration is moving them this year, that might be a big one. If I were Connie and again, I was being encouraged or influenced by the bigger group, and I believe that, okay, it is time for a reset. I'd keep my powder dry until around the draft and do it in the off season.
Would you not get more selling 2 deadlines or two playoff runs to a team at the deadline?
Maybe.
This year, right?
I mean, that's possible. You have to have those conversations though, right? You have to have those
I just think it would be worth more. Like if you're the Leafs, you get to use this guy this year and the next year, or but you only sold 2 months of Elias Lindholm. You got 5 assets. One of them's a first. Imagine if you sold another year of that player. So contracts.
But what do you want in return? Like,
that's
for,
I mean,
like a
some
first
people
plus,
just take all the picks, but other people would say take a young player back.
Well, I know what you're asking for. You're asking for Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan, something like that,
and a first,
and a first probably, and maybe you got to eat Nicky Robertson as part of it, right? I mean. That's the type of conversation that Brad Treliving, absolutely, we can all envision him having with Ronnie. But guess what? And I don't look at every owner has incredible say, even in hockey operations. Even though most GMs say, no, my owner gives me autonomy. I have free will. I can do what I want. No, everybody's got a boss. Mm-hmm. I'm not so sure that Murray Edwards wants to help Brad Treliving or the Toronto Maple Leafs. Tune in every Saturday night as Rasmus Andersson and the Maple Leafs. That might be a tough one unless they're overpaying.
And to be fair, that blue line's a lot better than it was. I feel like there's
it is.
Or just in general, as far as an Andersson deal, if you feel you get two runs,
I like it. But I'll tell you, if you've watched the Leafs, and we did that game last night, it's a better blue line because Tanev is in it. So and all of them, Ekman Larson, he's come back down to earth in the last couple of weeks. He was sideways last night against Carolina. Probably his worst game of the year. And I'll give him full credit because he's been a real nice add for the Maple Leafs. And there's something not right about Morgan Riley as well. Like, he just hasn't been on top of it. So even though you're right, the blue line is better, man, there wouldn't be too many GMs in the National Hockey League, that even Brad Treliving in this case, who aren't looking for some idea of an upgrade, however that looks and however you make it work.
Do we got to let Dregs go?
No, it's up to Dregs.
What's up? I'm good, man.
How much does the competitiveness of the owner play into every franchise, or does it?
Yeah, it does. So we had that brief conversation about Vegas, and Boomer, you said, look, if I were the owner, I'd love a general manager like Kellen McCrimmon. And you're bang on, but that cuts both ways. If you're McCrimmon, and by extension, you've got the experience of George McPhee and an owner that says, fellas, all I want to do is win. You do whatever you want. You know, just find a way to keep us contending every year. That's your job. My job is to make sure you have the resources to do it. He to me is a dream owner because I'm sure he's got hockey related questions and, you know, he's an educated hockey man, but there are many owners around the National Hockey League that are deeply, actively involved. Guys, Tom Dundon, and I'm not being critical. The agents tell me all the time, even when Donnie Waddell was there, often they wouldn't be negotiating with Waddell as general manager. They'd be on the phone with Tom Dundon talking about, well, you know, we need the extra year for this reason. And Dundon was is sharp, you know. So you have varying extremes, but they're all involved to some degree. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, buddy. We'll let you get out of here. Have a fine weekend. Are you it's wild card weekend NFL. Is this going to be a couch weekend? You got work going on? What's happening?
Yeah, it'll be a couch weekend, a little bit of work. I mean, we're in that season already, right? Like where you can envision, I mean, Boston's lost 6 in a row. What the hell is going to happen there? Yeah. So many pieces that could be in play. So it is an on-call type of scenario. And boys, I'm trying to carve off some LBs. And
January's the worst. Listen to all this nonsense.
We all are, Dregs. It's all right.
Yeah. So I hate the cliche of dry January. I do. So I'm not embracing that. It's about, okay, I'm not going to drink simply because I need to correct my diet and exercise.
You like meat? Just all meat, Dregs. Carnivore
all meat?
Diet. Oh, yes. Carnivore diet. Awesome. You'll feel great. 2 weeks. Do it for 2 weeks.
Like no veg, no carbs, nothing. Just straight meat.
No sugar.
Consult your physician before taking Rhett's medical advice. But
it's
you
so
can try
good. I did it for January a few years ago. Felt great.
Good for you. I'm in the midst of a liver flush right now.
Sounds fun.
I mean, it's just
so great. Yeah.
I mean,
I was looking for a replacement. Kijiji liver. Flush.
Yeah, that's the next step.
Once I get a new one.
Start with the flush and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Dregs. Have a good weekend, buddy.
All right, boys. You too. Thank you.
There he is, Darren Dreger. Crystal Waters, Plumbing and Heating. It's our insider hotline. Your crystal clear choice for home comfort. 403-219-4100. CrystalClearCalgary.com is the website. They've been doing it for 23 years. They're the best in the business, the best in our city. And if you've got an issue, you're like, this isn't working right, but it's just Christmas. I'm not sure we can afford. They got a solution for all budgets, including financing, affordable payment plans. Get it done by the best, and get it done now. Crystal Waters, Plumbing and Heating.
You know, you got that minus 30 cold snap coming at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know when, but it's coming.
Not ideal. I was going to ask him about, I'll try and remember it for next week, our Kadri conversation. While he has his GM hat.
Kadri conundrum.
Yeah. Is he obviously he's a very good player, would help a team. But with the term and the dollars,
who's doing who the favorite?
Who's doing who? Like who's coming out ahead there? I don't know.
And it was funny. We threw up that mock trade earlier in the week, and the guy that built it was like, "We're trading Kadri as a net neutral. Like it's just, it's no one's winning."
Well, and Eric Francis article today, Conroy said that Kadri was their only pure goal scorer.
At this point, sure. I mean, I think Coronado will be there if you're not having there yet. But
Sharon Govich should have something to say about that.
Hey,
for 31.
I just repeat it because I do all this homework. I make my rounds. I dig into things.
Were you taking a poo? Is that what happened? You were on your phone?
I don't know what it was actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with poo.
Right now?
No, I'm gonna say it was probably that.
Did you see Rhett during that chat with Dregs?
I had a coughing fit.
There was that.
You did,
all
yeah.
Fired up talking about defensemen, and then I don't know if he was making his rounds or what, but there's other moments. I don't know. I was worried about him.
What do you mean? Did I show off my legs?
No. Could you though? I'd really appreciate it. And if you could watch the angle, I'm worried. See there, right there. I'm worried about the inner part of the thigh and the inner short, the seam there.
Using that, whatever, that thigh master. I'm doing good.
Yeah. Is anyone else in dry January? Are they trying to shed some lbs?
It's a useless event.
Is it?
Okay, I'm not going to drink when I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
It's going to be miserable and then get cheat days and drink way too much in them.
So I'm not going to eat. So I'm not going to go out with my buddies. So I'm going to sit on the couch and watch football and eat what?
Oh, I know.
Carrots?
That's the thing. Because I'm thinking about football and that. I'm not necessarily going to drink, but boy, what am I ordering in? What's it going to be?
Listen.
Well, you know what? Now, for what we were talking about in the Dreger conversation, you did have a coughing fit, but there was also some concern if maybe there was some carbon monoxide.
Yeah,
or if maybe you'd had some turkey and gravy.
This was how in your conversation, how good it was.
Right.
Hey, a little recharge the battery, Rhett. That's good. You were really energized the second half. That's beautiful.
So you close your eyes and you're
dill pickle dip. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's my dry January right there. That was
Yeah.
sent to someone else in my house and said, "Get this shit so I can make."
Yeah.
Me
Can you send that along as well? That'd be great. You have my number. If you could
Yeah,
put that in the group chat, I'd
You got it,
appreciate
buddy.
that.
En route.
We will do some football picks a little bit later on.
The Rasmus thing, I think, like we all like. There's lots of different ways it could go, but it's really the first look at how the front
also
office
been beaten to death by you, so.
Yeah, I know. And it's not, they're not going to do anything until they get to the deadline. It's like, are we competitive or are we way out? Like, there's nothing that's going to happen in the next 3 months. I get it. But that will be the indication of how are they going to go about it? Are they taking young players? Are they re-signing them? Are they pushing them to next year?
Dregs makes a good point, though. They don't have to do it this year. And even though you want them to and think that it's more value, it doesn't, right? Like, if they trade him next trade deadline, does that mean that we're not going to know at this deadline? I'm saying, if they don't trade Andersson at this deadline, you believe, I kind of do too, that it's a bit of an indicator, but it isn't a total indicator.
No,
right?
I agree. It's just one option. Yeah. And to Dreg's point, at the draft, players like that tend to get a haul. Those are the two windows now we see the big deals. It's deadline and then right the week leading into the draft. And maybe that's where you go get some more assets in the draft. I don't know. You know more about the draft class after all those amateur meetings. Maybe you load up on next year because you like that crop better with draft picks. I don't know.
Yeah. Bobby, our buddy, Robert Munich with Flames Nation and FlamesNation.ca sent out a thing. Hey, we're doing the midway poll. We got some quick questions that they're going to put on the site. And it's, do you think the Flames are going to make the playoffs? Are they going to just miss, or will they finish bottom 10? And it's, well, I don't think they're going to make it.
It's tough to envision that with the teams above them, right?
But it might be close. And then you look at the bottom 10, and they've got some falling to do. Points wise, it's not crazy to think, but
5 points out of top 10 pick.
Like I looked this morning, just National Hockey League points percentage. The Flames are 15th. It's middle of the pack, and I know that's not how you determine playoff teams. But are they going to tail off in such a fashion? Are the next 40, whatever it is, 3, because they missed one, the next half of the season going to be drastically different? And I don't know if a Rasmus trade happens, maybe that affects it, if there's more injuries or stuff. But I don't know. I still feel like it's going to be not quite there, but not quite low enough.
Yeah, they're 1 point from the playoffs and 5 from being in the top 10 pick. I don't know that window has been that small this time of year before. Like, it's usually quite a bit of a gap. And that's why I think.
No, it's not. You're making shit up.
Okay, I'll go to last year's standings. Like, we don't have to guess. We can just go look at it. I feel like there's usually a bigger gap from the bottom.
So okay. So you're saying if it's 2 points, that's a bigger gap? Because that's technically bigger, but that's why it's talked about. The whole frickin' league has talked about it. There's the shitty teams and there's the real good teams. And then there's teams that if they go on a run one way or the other, it decides their fate. You win 5 is hard to win. Win 3 in a row. Everything changes in those standings.
So last year on January 10th, 16th in the league, had 44 points.
16th instead of 50.
Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah. So it's interesting. Like, there's how many teams could you write off right now? It looks like 84 points is the projected cutoff of the East right now. That's insanely low. We're used to 95. So all these teams that would be like, we're out of it, are like, geez, like real 500 is getting us close to a playoff spot in the East right now. That's different. That is totally weird this year. It's not quite the same in the West at all. And like, who can you really count out? It's probably just like San Jose, Chicago, Nashville.
But you know what though, to that same point, you can kind of flip it. So the bottom 10 today, points percentage: Chicago, San Jose, Nashville, Buffalo, Seattle, Philly, the Islanders, the Ducks, the Rangers, and the Wings.
Mm-hmm.
Conceivable the Rangers are maybe going to turn it around.
Should, yeah.
But then you've got between that 10 and the Flames, Boston, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, Utah, Montreal, Ottawa, and Columbus. Are all of those teams going to leapfrog you, in essence, for you to fall into that bottom 10?
500 is 10th from the bottom right now, and the Flames are currently 5 games over. And yeah, I don't know. Like, how long is Connor Zary out? Do you trade Dan Vladar? Does someone blow your socks over the rest?
You trade Dan Vladar, it's not affecting you.
I don't think it has any impact.
Well, it just means you got Logan Cooley starts,
which might be better.
You might, yeah. Like,
no, you don't know. I'm just saying, like, until we know what's up with Zary, who knows what's capable. Like, they got a lot of road games, and is Zary out 2 weeks, or is he done for the year? That's a big component.
I mean, he's a very good player, but it's not like he's leading them in scoring or has been a key part of their offense or the power play or any of that.
That's a part. I mean,
it just feels like they're kind of what they are. It's a team
they
thing.
What they are, and you can spin it either way.
Yeah.
Kuzmenko, Sharangovich.
Sure, get going.
Score a few more goals, fellas. Score a few more goals.
They're a 5-game winning streak from looking like a playoff team, and a 5-game losing streak from being for sure they're bottom 10.
The issue I have
is hilarious.
It's not an issue, but it goes back to what you say about leapfrog. Who the hell are they bumping out of a playoff spot? Vancouver's the only team I think you're not going to beat out Edmonton. Edmonton is not missing the playoffs. Like, Dallas is not missing. Winnipeg is not missing. Minnesota's not. Do you see Colorado? I would think the Kings, but it feels like the Kings are just continue to make the playoffs, and we underestimate them all.
And they're ahead of Edmonton. Look at the games in hand. Like, they're 2 back with 3 games in hand.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They're above Edmonton in the real standings.
Yeah, so I think the Kings, but only because I'm not giving the Kings enough respect. They've got lots of points, and they're playing very well. Who are you catching? Vancouver, because they're the closest, and they seem to have the most turmoil. But do they really feel like a team that's...
No, they played most of the season without Demko and without Hronek, and both those guys are close, if not back. I see Vancouver as, the off-ice drama is real, but the roster itself is better than it's been all year. They played, 3 months without Demko?
Yeah, and one move that off-ice drama should be changed, right?
In theory, yeah.
I just don't see... That's part of the problem the Flames are having. You've played great. You have the potential for guys to contribute more goals, which probably means more points in the standings. But you're not going. Colorado's not missing the playoffs. Sorry,
St. Louis is added this year. But
they're behind you. I'm not even the 8 teams that are in right now. Who's coming out?
Nobody. My point is that I'd look for St. Louis or Utah to be a team that could bump someone out, not the Flames. Personally. If anyone, but no, it looks like those are the 8 teams. Like, if you went through the West and said, who are the best teams out here? Those are the 8 you'd come up with.
Yeah.
They just are, unless Nashville somehow puts their shit together. But even then, they got to go in and they got to play at 120-point pace to get in. I don't know.
Yeah. Unless something St. Louis-esque or Nashville, I guess, from last year. And it can happen. It does happen, but it's a lot to hang your hat on. Just in terms of the Kings. Just kind of doing a quick, we were getting ready for the game the other day. Mm-hmm. They've allowed the fewest in the entire league, the fewest goals against, and they're tied with Dallas for the best, 2.5 goals against. They've given up 96 goals, which is not by far and away, but it's the best. I would not have guessed a Kemper, and we talked about the other day, Riddick has been okay, but Kemper has had a bounce back year. He's been very good for them. I didn't expect we were talking about them as being a tight defensive squad, but they've been hard to score on.
He'll be coming back.
Yeah.
Like, they're only going to get better.
And that feels like a good recipe to stick right about where you are, where you're not relying on needing to score more or having to get, no, we're a good defensive team. We get good net minding. It's kind of how you maintain your spot.
Yeah, and I don't. If you wanted to get in the bottom 10, I think that decision's made at the deadline. I think you absolutely let this group operate. There's too much good happening in terms of the results you're getting versus what you are on paper. Connie's going to have a tough decision, but it ain't until March. That's when you have to make your mind up about, okay, am I actually going to hand the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, or 15th pick overall to Montreal? Because you can do things to change that. You absolutely can. It's
the option. Sorry, I know you keep harping on that, and I'm dumb. But, so if he's got to give up a pick eventually. So it's this year or next year?
No, it's either Florida, who's going to pick 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, or it's your own pick this year.
So,
and there's a huge difference between what you can get in the low teens versus what
so you could have a ninth. Yeah, gotcha.
And that's the expected, the value of that pick is so much less than what the Flames is. I mean, asset management wise, you've got to finish bottom 10. If you're a playoff team, I get it, but they're not playoff.
Well, I can if he sells everything, but I
there
think
you go.
It sends quite a message to
where it's like, hey, we really want to see Devin Cooley a lot.
Or Boomer.
Yeah, Boomer, I don't know if you got to stand.
I worry about Cooley. I think he actually, it's like, Jesus, shoot. You got to, Kron. We really want to get someone in net. We want to build out our goaltending depth. Let's get these guys in there.
This is not an e-bug situation. This is real. Dusty, you're coming in. We love you.
See, he effed it up already. He could have got Georgie 5.
We showed the stat yesterday, Dean. Georgie 5's played like 28 games or something this year. After the first period, they've led in 1. That's with Colorado the bulk of the year.
Wow.
Trailed like 24 times, and a couple times they've been tied afterwards. It's like, you want to play from behind? Go get this guy.
Oh, boy. Well, maybe that's what they want to do. Good old Georgie 5. Let's get to the Pinder Report.
For Viev.
It's a presentation of Village Honda. The new 2025 hybrid touring CRV is in stock now. Yeah, I know you're real conscious about the environment, your global footprint, your green.
Red is, yeah.
My carbon consumption?
That's right.
It's footprint, yeah.
That's why I need all those cows, so they stop farting.
Yeah. The Eco Assist, along with real-time all-wheel drive, it's why the CRV, and with the touring package, ooh, you like nice things? You're going to find them in there, buddies. 2025 hybrid touring CRV in stock now, and for a limited time. $1,000 Honda bonus, and qualified Honda owners receive an additional $750 loyalty bonus, just because. For being loyal. And aren't we all?
Getting rewarded.
That's right. And we could probably...
Ryan Pinder.
Village Honda presents a Pinder Report.
Well, boys, we start with Frank Baum, the start of the day. Yes, Connor Zary. Well, we don't know a lot about the timeline yet, but we do know that, as we heard from our part-time doctor on Tuesday night, did not suffer any damage to the ACL or MCL. That doesn't mean there's not other damage elsewhere, but if one of those ligaments gets torn, that's a no bueno, and we'll see in camp next year. So maybe, just maybe, a shorter timeline, but nothing firm. Pike seems to think tomorrow we'll get something in the form of a timeline, but
is that because it didn't bend sideways?
Well, see, there's this thing called shear where you're there. We told you this Tuesday night on Afterburner. You go play the tape. You can. It's out there on the YouTube.
It's all right there. Yeah.
It's all there for you.
Well, and you talked to Pike yesterday. What, this morning? When did you talk to Pike? So you would have known that.
Known what?
About the timeline of when it's gonna.
Oh, I knew about the timeline. I didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. We didn't talk about the dorsiflexion.
Yeah.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Dorsiflexion.
Yeah.
Okay. Rory Cairns gets recalled. Exciting. We'll see what he's done. Leading the A in scoring. That's exciting. West standings look like this. We just showed him. We're doing everything twice again. Everything we've done, we've already done. There they are. 1 point back in Vancouver, which seems insane, but they've played their asses off. They've got LA on Saturday. Second half of the back-to-back, as Boomer noted, as they're in Winnipeg tonight. Two good teams at keeping the puck out of the net. They are in the top 3, both the Jets and the Kings at goals allowed. Maybe the under. Take the under.
I think that's a real benefit for those Flames.
The under. I definitely doesn't hurt. having him play in Winnipeg the night before. Wonder which goalie you'll get. Maybe it's old friend Dave Rittich. Hey, old friend. Schedule. It's a lot on the road after the Saturday game at home. Well, there's 4 in a row. They'll follow those 4 in a row with a 1-game homestand before going out for 2 more. So
brutal.
6 of the next 7 on the road, which has not been kind to them, although they did just win that last road game in overtime in Anaheim. Okay. And there's the Blues, who are behind.
Could be a goosh. Sorry to jump. Could be a goosh.
Chicago will be the determining factor, Dean.
If you want to spin the positive, it's the Kings on the second half of a back-to-back. You probably split with the Blues, and you should beat Chicago. There, look at that. 3 out of 4. Boom.
Can you expand on that, Rhett? The Chicago will be the determining.
Well, it's one of those look past type of scenarios, right?
Oh.
Like you're not focused on Chicago, but if they show up and perform, they're
The
dialed
last time we saw Calgary, Chicago, the Hawks perhaps were looking past the Flames because that was ugly.
Well, they're not good, Ryan. See, that's the point.
I don't know if you want to get into this. Our buddy on Winnipeg Sports Talk had Dave Pagnotta on to talk. He's sort of spinning some Rasmus Andersson stuff, but it's all very hypothetical. We've done a lot of Rasmus. It's not.
Well, you know what? If the clip's any good,
we'll move. Crosby, big night last night. Sorry, Dave's batting average has to get a little higher before we start playing his clips.
All right, there. Yeah, come on, Dave.
Yeah,
on, Dave.
You did kind of. You didn't roar in with that. You kind of limped in. I got a thing here. I don't know.
I mean, we just talked to Dregs. I don't need.
Attaboy. All right.
Look
Sid.
at this, Sid. How are you? You just passed Joe Sakic. He's a good player.
Good player.
And he'll be catching his old landlord. Isn't that cute? His old roommate, Mario Lemieux, next on the list.
Maybe.
Jeez, he's good. 3 points last night.
That's the jackometer.
They're still super mid, but I love Crosby. He's like 47 points now, I think.
God bless Jack.
So good.
Super mid.
Super mid. Like 17, 17, and 8 or something.
18, 17, and 8. Very mid. Yeah. With a minus 26 goal differential. That's heavy, man.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's very mid. Good. Not just Crosby with a milestone night last night, but too small and too slow Braden Point, recording his 600th point as the Lightning walloped the bad Boston Bruins. Not the big bad Bruins, the bad Boston Bruins.
I saw this. It's like this guy. And I feel like maybe you're not at 600 because this is a high. There's a lot of offense, a lot of offensive guys there.
Yeah,
but this is a guy that's going to be a very good player on every team in the league.
Is he 36?
He ain't 36. He's a free agent soon. Come on home. Ooh. Come on home. You and McCarr. Come on home. Come on.
Calgary, Alberta, you say? Hey, how about that? 600 points in 615 NHL games.
That is wow.
289 goals.
He good. Very good.
You could do it, Dean. You've got that low center of gravity. You and Cooch.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Let's get to the
trouble is when I get down on one knee for the one timer, it takes me a long time to get back up.
Well, it's in the net though. Who cares?
Snapping sticks as I try to get back up.
To the Eastern Conference mid-off, that is the playoff chase. It's our boy Jay Fresh. Halfway through the year, final wild card on track to be 84 points. Can you give me a goosh, Dean? I'm going to need a goosh.
If you can trust his math.
Goosh.
If there's one thing I trust about him, it is math.
84.
Last year, it was 91 in the East, and that was Washington.
91 is low.
Yes.
Oh,
last year in the West, 98. Hey, Vegas. 84. Ridley Gregg signing a new contract with the Ottawa Senators this morning.
Congrats, Rids.
Got some contract terms here. 4 years, 3 and a quart. That's got a very high probability of being a great deal for the Senators, but it also does bring him to UFA status pretty quickly, I imagine, or at least into one final year of R. Not sure the age.
He's a young guy.
Young fella.
Yeah.
Good for him. Go get it, Sens. Stop being mid. Speaking of the Sens, had a bit of a tailspin here. Big road trip. lost Allmark to injury.
Mm.
They were in a playoff spot when
They were climbing.
we left at Christmas. It's been just brutal since. But here's the good news. Sens fans are handling this very rationally.
Fucking shit! Not good enough. I'm sick of this shit. What is fucking you want to make the playoffs? Hey, you want to fucking make the playoffs and you play this fucking bullshit. Hey, you're gonna play that way? Oh, you're on a 9-game road trip and you think you're so fucking tired and you're run the fuck up. I'm just about to fucking had it. Okay? Well, you want me to fucking be a fan still? Hey, and play that way? You get a couple of goals and get 5 shots and then you let in fucking 2 goals? Hey? I'm fucking sick of this shit! I'm getting all the centers play like shit all the time! Hey? You wanna fuck around with the fans, hey? Shit.
Table time.
Anyways, I mean, like, if I had a plan, I'd probably put really Greg not on the first line. I'd probably put Brady Tkachuk with some of the better players. Nothing against Greg, but needs to score some goals here. Anyways, we can still come back and win this game, but kind of sucks not having any good goaltending. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna have to clean this up.
It's beautiful.
Some good
Good
use
use
of
this guy. He's a lunatic.
good use of the glass breaking sound effects there. It's pretty good.
It's excellent. I think it sounded like a garbage can thing as well in there mixed in. It was nice. Very nice.
4-0. They lost.
They
to
didn't come
Buffalo
back,
last night.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Florida's a good team.
An old friend, Denny Gilbert, I saw went shooting the old Dukes with Brady Tkachuk there.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
Denny.
boy. Buffalo's own Rat.
Oh, they played Buffalo and lost 4-0.
Yeah, Sabres, big win, 4-0. Dennis Gilbert fighting the captain. Yeah.
Just Noodles was trying to get back for that Buffalo game. Remember? Ottawa, Detroit.
Those two teams, they're 2 peas in a pod, Dean.
Buffalo and Ottawa.
Yeah. Oh, they're coming along. They got lots of young talent. They're shit. Oh, but they're playing hard, and they finally found.
They're back. 5-game winning streak.
They got a new coach. Coach going to make coach. Terrible.
It's the year. It's the mid-off. One of them will get in this year. That's my take. I think it happens.
Buffalo. You can't
Columbus
lose
is in a
14
bleeping
in a
playoff
row
spot.
and get into the playoffs.
One of Buffalo or Ottawa's getting in.
Yeah,
Isn't
really
Buffalo last in the East?
Did you just stutter your way through that state? Yeah.
It'll be Ottawa. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think Buffalo's
Buffalo is
getting in?
last.
Buffalo is 7 points out.
They lost 14 in a row. They're not making the playoffs.
That's how bad the East is.
Come on now.
Ottawa's 3 back with 2 games in hand.
Perhaps.
So they're right there. They just got to turn around. Mark, man, it's
use
on. Ugh. Get them back week to
Dude
week.
makes some good points. Better goaltending and put Tkachuk with good players.
George LaRocque was in Philly, I think. Now, Dean, you've been to Philly. We know Gorgeous George, but I think you guys would know Philly better than me. George is never known for his feet. Is that fair? Oof. He's getting tired. It's crowd.
He committed to the bit. I mean, he's taped his.
That's
Oh boy, careful.
Georgie, what's happened?
They committed to this bit for sure.
All right, we get it. You can turn down the volume.
Does he go up the stairs or?
He's got it.
know if
We'll
the
stay
stairs
with
are
it.
there
Just
anymore.
song
Well, the
anyway.
stairs are there, but the statue they put at the bottom,
Oh,
so you didn't have to go up to the top to see it.
Rocky's a little quicker. I'm noticing that.
You know, maybe it's the video.
Yeah, it's probably one of those
Maybe it's at 1.5.
time lapse. Yeah.
looks like the statues.
No statues there. Last when I was there, it was at the bottom. Maybe they said, "To heck, if you're gonna see it, you got to get up here." There you go.
So if you're wondering what George LaRocque's up to, right there's the answer.
What's he got going in his? Is that a potato? Never mind.
Jesus.
Ryan, back to you.
Dean,
You're
the worst. The absolute worst.
What?
Tonight's slate. Let's have a look, Jack.
I can't believe George stole your sweatsuit either. Like that.
Hey, that's what. At least he gave it back.
It's an original 6 snooze fest. It's the Hawks and the Wings
Oh,
here.
Kane versus Chicago. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In
And
Montreal.
DeBrincat, right?
The Cat. I like Catsy.
Both former Hawks.
Yeah.
Habs and Caps, 2 teams playing really well lately.
Habs can't lose. They're just on fire.
Canucks, let's see what they can do. So they're returning to full health. Still on the road. Hronik with the AHL team skating.
It's very weird hearing Pinder. It's very weird with you kind of having a positive reaction or an outlook for the Canucks. It's
They've
not.
missed so many games by key players. Like how many?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. If it was the Oilers, it'd be it's just I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah,
You'd
no
find
wonder.
your way around, common sense or rational
It'll all
thought.
fit. Think about it. Why do I want the Canucks to play well? So they
Sneak
can beat the
paint?
Oilers.
So oh, I see.
It all comes back to that. All of the opinions are driven from one thing: the Oilers not winning a cup in the McDavid era, which would be the greatest failure we'll witness in our lives. Worse than our federal government. It'd be incredible.
Worse than that?
Yeah, I know. It's incredible. Kings and Jets, that's a good one on tap. Kings will be here tomorrow, and Sharks and the Hockey Club
Right.
from Salt Lake City. Salt Lake.
What
That's
was George up to? He ain't doing that just for shits and giggles, is he?
I think he's getting back in shape.
No, that's
No.
not going to happen ever.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be for something. It wouldn't just be for, hey, let's get a camera crew and
Hey,
Why
I'll
is he
spend
in
money to
Philly?
do this.
let's really map out the exact shots and angles from the original movie. And
Let's find that house I come out of.
see, it's a good.
Where's
See,
that?
that's. You're right, Warner. What
That's,
are you up to?
Yeah.
What's this all about?
Yeah.
Because I don't do nothing for free. And Georgie don't either.
It's true.
You know how Jack's a big Steelers fan? And we're like, oh, Jack, he's just the
Is that who he
crazy.
cheers for? Because some days I feel like he's a fan, and other days I think he hates the team. So
Well,
I
that's
always
part of the fandom. It's the irrational behavior. The
Oh.
more irrational you are, the bigger the fan you are, right?
Okay.
Apparently, it's not just Jack. It might just be all Steelers Nation. Let's go.
I'll be the one realistic Steelers fan. We have no chance this weekend. Which is fine, okay? We overachieved. We were lucky to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to root for my guys, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. We already beat them once this year. It's not like they're invincible. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but the money line opened at Pittsburgh plus 420. What do you think of when you hear 420? Yes, smoking weed. Who likes to smoke weed? Wiz Khalifa. Where's Wiz Khalifa from? Yes, I would like to withdraw the entire 401k. Now, is there any way I can transfer that directly to FanDuel?
This is totally Jack.
Yes, babe, I know it's my life savings, but this is a sure thing, okay? Do you not remember me telling you about the 420 omen with Wiz Khalifa and Black and Yellow? Last 4 games were just Coach T playing possum, baby, not showing anybody anything. That's why we're going to kick Baltimore's ass, then we're going to go up to KC and get our revenge, and then we're going to run it back with the Eagles in the Super Bowl. It's a revenge tour, baby. Woo!
That was so spot on. Well done.
That's
That's
Jack.
eerily accurate.
And he called it on Monday. He's like, oh, they're just dead. But by Friday, I'll have talked myself into it.
And I have.
Yes, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Zay Flowers is out. And like you said, like the last 4 weeks, the Steelers, they've been playing a little differently than they had the previous couple weeks. They're trying to run the ball. They're kind of hiding their offense. Russ is going to come out and cook.
And why did they do it? They already punched their ticket to the playoffs. Hey, nothing to prove.
You can't write this shit. This is unreal.
We're going to go into Baltimore, surprise the league, then we'll go to Kansas City.
I'm sorry, Jack.
Amazing.
Another week for Watt to get healthy.
Yeah, we're fully healthy now, too.
It's art. I don't know how he does it. It is magic.
And the stupid Ravens, they played their guys the last week, and now Zay Flowers is out.
And so much pressure on them, hey?
Already won in Baltimore?
And the Steelers crushed Baltimore.
In Baltimore. It's obvious, guys.
Yeah, that was very realistic looking back. I feel like maybe you know that guy that did that. Was that you on the phone with him when you were talking? Like, is
that little face app that was Jack. We just put someone else's face on it.
Yeah.
You hate to see when bad things happen to good people, but Deshaun Watson got hurt. Sounds like he's torn his Achilles again, and now his 2025 is entirely in jeopardy. It sounds like 7 months is the earliest of timelines, and that's if everything goes great. Anyway, back to the first part, I guess.
Didn't take Rodgers 7 months.
No, it didn't.
No.
I don't know if the Cleveland's going to be rushing this guy back. No, we're good.
Karma, perhaps.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting money, but it's... What do they got? The 2 pick in the draft?
They pick high. Yeah.
Quarterback.
I mean, he's played 19 games. He's been there since 2022. 19. That's like one season for the 3 he's been there. Ooh. Let's go to our old, calm, zen hockey fan. You like pancakes, right?
Snack on this, my giant pancakes. The perfect recipe for a fully balanced breakfast. Good, boys. Easy, Draper.
Cheddar juice.
There you go, buddy.
There you go, buddy.
There you go, buddy. I love that guy. He was at the Winter Classic.
Yeah, he's got his thing.
That's it. He's doing it great. No one else has that thing.
That's
I'm
his
envisioning
thing.
him in the cabin in the woods somewhere in Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know.
Who the hell wants that thing? Like,
to do that bit?
It's kind of a big deal now, Rhett. Like, not as big as you.
yeah, I know. He's taking over the world. Yep. I'm sure the leash will be long too and sought after for many
Oh,
years.
you'll have Hey Buddy coin. The meme coin will drop next week. He's going to make trillions.
Hey, buddy.
Hey Buddy coin.
Hawk Tua, buddy.
Hey, buddy. You missed it yesterday, but I'm sure you've seen it. There's more. This is Ole Jokinen not doing a Mike Keenan impression, but actually coaching in Sweden. And Rhett, we had the 40-second snip. This is like 4 minutes. We don't need to listen to it all. But Dean, we need you to react to this.
Okay, listen up. Build your fucking excitement. Start competing. Zero fucking energy. Like fucking pathetic. You're excited to play against #1 team. You're excited to play fucking Saturday. Now it's a Tuesday night and you feel like, oh, I'm just gonna come over here and fucking play. Just play it because the fucking game is in the schedule. These are fucking meaningful games. Important fucking points. Give yourself a fucking chance. Fuck's sake. Start worrying about you guys preparing this. You competed a lot harder yesterday in the fucking practice. We're there, but we're not there. Don't even fucking try to tell us that you were there. We have few guys that they play their level. Ville, Svenny. That's it. Don't fucking pretend. Start fucking working. Skating, winning battles. You know that they're gonna stay on the puck and they're gonna spin. Go and bump into these guys. Start winning stick-to-stick battle. Start skating.
Dean, how much of these have you seen and how much do you love it is the question.
Oh, it's good. I did have to check. I played over 1,200 games in the league and 6 playoff games. You need my kind of jam. I do like it, though.
Who's the guy in Stepbrother and Ricky Bobby?
Yeah, it's a look.
Because we got the actor. We just need to. Who's the rest of the cast? What's the storyline? It's beautiful.
Hey, I like it. Anybody that I love it.
So good. He's still going. Turn it back up.
He has heard this speech. He has heard this speech.
Yes.
Get some fucking bite in you. Seriously.
It goes for 4 minutes. I'm literally not exaggerating. That's incredible stuff.
What about the score of the game?
Keep them short if you're going to address.
I know they're just tuning out.
So yeah, coach.
Hit him hard.
We're awful.
Get him.
Ville is working hard, and Sven.
What you don't know is that's like it's his kid's 13-year-old team. That's the only downside.
It's Timbits. They're like.
Oh,
this is the number 1 team. Show some fucking heart.
Hey, there's going to be a lot of those during ESO this week.
There will be.
Yeah. I know a few guys. Yeah. You got the Origin hat on. Love our good pals at Origin. Now, you were saying it's incredibly rare what they do because they actually grow like right from the earth to the beer, that whole process.
Right. Farm to glass.
Farm to glass. So I don't know if this is Origin or not, but it's got to be because it's very rare. Like this is how they do it. Check it out. Right, so get some tabs from the cans. Look, he's planting them, Dean.
Wow, it's coming along nicely.
Jeez, this must be time lapse. That happened quick. Wow. Farming, eh? I can get into that, Rhett.
Use your knees.
Yeah, I gotta see if it's any good, right? So he's ready for market yet, or what?
Yeah.
Not bad. So good to get Sterling on the show for the first time and the whole Hilton crew.
You don't think is it that easy? Because they make it.
They got all those
make us.
stuff.
We're led to believe that there's quite a bit that goes into it between
like smoke screen. It's that easy.
Doesn't look like
that's
it.
farming. That's what they always tell you, right?
I'll tell you how busy they are. Eh?
Tough on you, and you got to rely on the weather.
Just put some tabs in, boys.
It's a nice beer.
Right there.
Real good.
Yeah.
Go get you some. Don't be worrying about no dry January.
Rhett really likes these ones. The pale ales. Ooh. Up his alley. A little hop here. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Rhett, you said you had a quieter Christmas. You went skiing, alpining. Dean, you were supposed to have relatives in, you didn't. We had a kitchen dance party at our for New Year's Eve at our place, which was great. Aussie, it's cut to the footage here. We got a little dinged up, but it's good times. So, yeah,
So that's it's chicken on a pig,
and
a
me
dude
in
in a dress.
My wedding dress. Yeah.
Anyway,
we had a good time. Looking forward to next New Year's too.
You're a hell of a dancer.
I can't decide if you're the loser or the people that are making the videos are.
It's both, right?
Okay.
Now here's the thing: did dude just set the camera on a tripod? And
if someone catches them, that's great. But this is way too steady. This is a tripod.
Yeah,
that's even sadder. Good hands, lots of guns, spins. Even the pig's like, yeah, this is pretty lame.
So this is why I'm supposed to be on social media?
Oh, there's a bird. There's a bird on the chair.
Bird on a wire?
Bird on a post.
Like a bird.
What's going on in this one? I want to make sure we get it queued up properly. There's a thick accent. I don't know where in the world we are. I've got maybe a hint of Ireland and or like deep East Coast Canada, like where Brunt goes to vacation in the summer. It's all we have for the Pinder Report. It's all that's left. Let's just get right to it.
Hey guys, come with me as I shove my father into a balloon. Oh! Now we have it! Quick now. Quick, up. Go! Get in there!
They got to the knees.
Squeeze it out! Over your ass! You can eat it. Quick! Voila! You're too slow. Quick and fast. So when you put it out, I put my hand down, put your 2 hands down in under it. I have to put your both sides in. Marianne! 1, 2, 3, go in. Go in there. Off. Get the leaf blower. Get the leaf blower, Ty. Get the blower. Hold it together. Ty, you sit it down to a couple of
We're going to do it, Dean.
I said you sit it down to a couple. Sit on the hands coming out. Now, is that it? Hey, bro.
This was us and Jasper, Dave. Where do we get these balloons?
Oh, darn. Well, that's why we can't have nice things, I guess.
Where do you think they were from, Dean?
Kind of sound like the Pikeys from the Guy Ritchie movie Snatch.
Right, you weren't keen on that one. Sorry,
She's
bud.
partial to Periwinkle Blue Boss.
I've given you numerous ideas as to what you could have
I've
fun
given you
with.
hobby horse content this week already. I can't do more hobby horse.
Rhett was very. I can say. I think it was great, Ryan. I don't think Rhett was in.
He was
don't
disappointed.
think he enjoyed the bridal gown or the balloon.
They were
or
long
Hey Buddy
and set up and
farming. Ola Jokinen. I don't know. You know what? Screw it. You do the Pinder Report tomorrow. You know what? Take a day off tomorrow. That's your Pinder Report for Friday.
Village Honda presents the Pinder Report presentation. And in-stock inventory is on the ground. 2025, it's a new year. Now, you could probably go to the, might be the odd 2024 kicking around there, too. Be like, hey, isn't that a 2020? You probably want to get that off the lot, eh? You might be able to swing yourself a bit of a deal, but if you're looking forward, you're not looking back. New year, new you, new car. Why not? Village Honda in the Northwest Auto Mall. So we're not going to do the Monday game for our picks.
Why?
Well, we'll have a show Monday. We'll react to the 5 we saw.
Okay.
And we'll pick the game on Monday. I think that's great.
The Jack might,
far away.
the Steelers game might incapacitate Jack, which means that we can't do anything. Right?
Jack, do you have plans for the weekend?
Yes, I'm going to watch the game.
Oh, great.
And
Okay, yeah.
Are you doing dry January with an asterisk?
I've already started that. Yeah,
Okay,
I started that
So
yesterday.
you're going to need one of those asterisks tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what is your, like, I know you're a fan and you've got belief and you got heart and Tomlin can do it. And this is, do you know which way you're going to go depending on the result? I mean, obviously the Jackometer's one thing, but do you have a real plan to keep yourself safe either way?
Let's play it out, Red. Ask him what happens if the Steelers win.
Yeah, all right. It's been a tight game. They're down at the half. Things are tight, but not out of reach. Henry gets hurt. All of a sudden, the Steelers start moving the ball. They start cooking, and a late field goal wins it. What are we doing? Because two things. I know you're on your rocket ship back to that moon, but I want you safe as well, right? You don't just light it up and head off. Like I want you to have a safety net.
We need some airbags on that rocket ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll be all right. If they win,
If
I'll
the
be
Steelers
safe.
win, you'll fall down. You might pull a Keith Whitley.
Jeez.
Whitley.
He knows.
Don't Google it. No.
Dark reference.
Rhett.
What?
Jeez.
He could cook the goose too much.
I think he will cook the goose for sure.
Don't Keith Whitley it.
I gotta
well,
Google Keith.
No, it's just he didn't end well for Keith. Let's just put it that way.
Nice hair though.
It's a real talent.
Okay, and what if they lose? What do you think I'm doing?
Well, that's the other side of it. Again, I think you need people around you.
Oh,
you need a support group. You need safety net. What? Like, I don't want to. I don't want you to Keith Whitley it because of a loss.
That's not gonna happen. I gotta work after the Steelers game. So
no. The executive team, meaning the Boomocracy, has stepped in and said there's no way we can have Jack incapacitated trying to run the board for an afterburner. You got to find a replacement. I'll do it.
No, you won't. There is, I mean, how is there anything lower than 0 as far as a percent chance that that's happening? No, I mean,
there's a better chance of Keith Whitleying than.
Oh, there's a better chance of Keith Whitley coming into the shot here in that wedding dress, dancing around with a pig and a bird. Well, because I was looking here. It's a playoff game. They had a playoff game in 23, 21, 20, 17. They've not won a playoff game since 2016.
Was it 5 in a row they lost?
Yeah, I know that was the AFC Championship game, I believe, was the last one.
There was a lot of bad Big Ben in there too. Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, there was a win there.
So what? What do you?
But I'm just wondering what. So the last time that you would have been able to celebrate a playoff
12
win was in 2016.
Yep, I was in high school.
Whoa, big day tomorrow.
Yeah, just keep it on the rails.
I will.
I get to watch the Chargers in the playoffs this weekend. Remember the last time they were there?
No.
28-0 Jacksonville. Big lead for the Chargers.
Jacksonville. Always.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was one of the greatest choke jobs we've seen ever.
Don't even talk to me about choke jobs.
Yeah.
I'll put my team's choke jobs.
I know.
Anyways.
There's a few in San Diego history too. Marlon McCree takes a knee after the interception instead of running it back. Doesn't fumble it. Patriots don't beat them in LA or in San Diego then. There's a lot of horror to go around between the Vikings, the Falcons, the Bills.
We do need a Viking fan on this.
Yeah, there's lots
show,
too.
I feel
There's
like.
there's enough of them around.
There's lots, yes.
We should bring Lubo in. I'd love to get a little dip a toe in the temperature of that pool ahead of this game.
I know how it'll be. It'll be like they're gonna get their doors blown off. It'll that's what that would be. Just a guess.
But that's the facing the public,
right? That's the front facing.
Yes,
opinion.
but once the doors closed and the mic is off, it would
more F sharps probably.
Just because we got beat last week means nothing. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna do this. I think they might be right. We'll talk about our picks. I put something in the old drive-a-roo there, Jack. Hearing Loss Clinic, our good friends, great sponsors, Travis and Sabrina, taking care of so many people with charity work. Obviously, the work that they do professionally with the Hearing Loss Clinic, but they give back in the community. They do a ton of things. And we went in there, and we'll have the footage of us getting the schputz in our ear as we're getting the very fancy in-ear monitors, which is way overkill for us. I mean, look what's on Rhett's head right now, right?
Yeah,
makes me fall asleep. These
obsolete is what that is. So not only do they offer hearing loss, hearing aids, and that sort of thing, hearing protection. If you work, if you're working one of these things, you need some hearing protection, ear protection. Custom molds and the in-ear stage monitors. Now, I don't know. I saw this on their Instagram feed, which by all means go and follow them because they give away a bunch of prizes and stuff. There it is, the Hearing Loss Clinic. Do you know who Kung Fu DJ is? Because Kung Fu DJ gets his or her in-ear monitors done with the Hearing Loss Clinic, the only Canadian licensed carrier.
Really? The whole country?
Custom form fit, everything for, and I don't know who Kung Fu DJ is, but I know that there's a lot of big name musicians, artists, bands, that sort of thing that come to the Hearing Loss Clinic in Calgary to get these things done because they're the very best. And now we're getting some of those. But you and me, Retro, we'll be looking like
DJing on my side gig.
That's right. We will be looking like Kung Fu DJ. So this is one of those. If you're a, is that it?
There's Kung Fu DJ right there. Bam,
there he
bam,
is.
Bam, 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 bam.
Really? Like the light show there.
Yeah, it's
not boring.
For sure. Yeah,
very good.
What we're telling you is there. I mean, yeah, this is the only place in the country that does it. This is the best of the best. There's 5 locations in Calgary, 5 in BC, and people from across the country literally are coming to the Hearing Loss Clinic. Remember Steve Downey played for the Flyers World Junior team?
Hit Dean McCammond.
Yeah, he had hearing issues, and he dealt only with Travis and Sabrina at the Hearing Loss Clinic. And there's a lot of athletes. You get into it, and we're very fortunate to have people like we talked about with McLeod Law. They're in Calgary, just happens to be they're the best of the best, and the same true with Hearing Loss Clinic. Hearingloss.ca. Book an assessment today. We've done it. You should. It could change your life. Hearingloss.ca is a website. Get it done.
Can I mention something? Like, I had to watch that bullshit Pinder Report.
Yeah.
There was a football game last night. Wasn't
the Orange Bowl. Close one, too.
Epic.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Rhett?
Well,
Irish
my first half of my parlay locked in.
That's the most
I'm already. If I wanted to cash out right now, I'm up.
You're not going to cash out.
I'm not cashing out. I know you're winning. Oh, yeah. What are you talking about?
This is not a man that cashes out.
So were you watching it, or did you just happen to check in? And
I watched last night after it was over.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a game, though.
What a game.
See, it feels like something that is relevant to what we do and could have been included. Especially since I bet on it.
Rhett made a bet and paid attention to it. Normally,
yeah, that's right.
Knew it happened. If we need the summary here, the Coles notes, yes, that's what we were watching here.
Well, when I was doing my rounds, this is just something that popped up.
I don't know.
It's amazing you have time for anything else. With
I
all
know.
the calls and
All the
rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a doctor.
Yeah.
Rounders.
I was gonna say, I know you've been part of rounds. Just not those kind of rounds. Let's do it. Bet365, world's largest sports betting platform. Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. Download the app. Use the promo code NATION. If you haven't already, if you don't have one, sign up and use it. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. So yes, wild card weekend in the National Football League. Ooh, mama.
Ooh, mama.
Ooh, mama.
Dean,
That's
she's taking us to Vegas.
That's a Steelers song, right, Jack?
Renegade.
Yeah, something like that.
So are we starting from zero here?
I feel like we had a regular season champion that was Jack, and rather than pick 3 games, it's going to be 6 games this week. What? 6
Or
games
we could just, or we can just do picks and talk about them if we want to keep track. I guess we can,
right? Pick all the games as playoffs. That's what
you know. What we should have done, and we still could, is we should do a team pick or a team ticket.
One team ticket.
Okay.
Group. Agreement's so easy to find
on
the
us
show.
Together, because there's some infighting going on behind the scenes, folks.
There
you
is.
Don't want to hear about it. It's an off-air, on-air conversation. But Jack's being a dick to everyone. We got to bring him in.
Yeah, Jack, we got to bring you in.
Doesn't pay his debt.
And we were there too. Like
we're doubling nothing at 14 points.
Yeah, you missed that yesterday, Dean. I got double or nothing on 4 pizzas at plus 14 for the Steelers.
That's all his pizza debts. Double or nothing. We're either going to have pies for the rest of our lives, or it's free and clear.
Like pies for
plus 14.
Yeah, Rhett gave him extra points.
Still might not be.
I feel like I was in a no-lose situation because I wasn't going to win nothing.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he was never going to pay that.
Yeah, that's right. You
That's
weren't
the
gonna
problem,
get...
though, is that the lose situation is you win the bet and then he owes you 8, and it's
still not
a lot over my head.
Yeah. All right.
You have to go get a lien on his paychecks.
So let's where do we want to start? Jack, I'll let you drive the bus here.
Dean, you start.
All right. So we'll leave the Vikings and Rams until Monday. Chargers at the Texans. The Chargers on the road, a 3-point favorite. I've not loved the Texans as of late. I like Harbaugh. I like their D. I know that they've stumbled a bit too. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I'm going to give away the points. Steelers plus 10. It's a big number. It's not plus 14, but it's plus 10. I fear that the Ravens still win this thing, but it might be a little closer than 10. So I'll take the Steelers and the points. Same too with the Broncos. Bills, I think, probably win this thing, but I wonder if their coach and their D might be able to keep it close under a touchdown type deal. So I'll take points in Broncos. The Packers and the Eagles, I don't know why. I feel Eagles. I think Saquon's going to go off and all of that. But Hurts was injured, and it's just I don't know. And I know that Christian Watson's injured too, but he wasn't a focal point necessarily for that offense. I'm going to take the points in the Packers. Again, I don't know if it's an outright win, but I'll take points. And this one's tough because between fantasy and Bet365, I've done very well by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I am going to go with the Commanders here. I think they may actually even win this thing outright.
Oh,
but I'll take +3 for the Commanders against the Bucs.
All right. You're taking, for the record of the 5 games,
4 dogs,
4 road dogs, or 4? Yeah.
Yeah. Commanders. Yeah. They would, all the dogs would be on the road. So Packers, Commanders.
Yeah. Sign you up.
Okay. I'm a Chargers fan, so it scares me that they're favored on the road. I think they could squeak it out. I also thought they could beat Jacksonville, one up 28-0 at the half. So, I have scar tissue. I'm sorry about that. Mike Tomlin and TJ Watt will keep this close, but I think Baltimore wins. Love Buffalo to blow the doors off of Denver in Buffalo. Hell yeah. Don't have a great feel on this Eagles-Packers, but I just think if you're going to give me that many points, I'm going to take them. And I'm with you on the Commanders. Jaden Daniels wants to have a great day. It's been an incredible rookie season for him. This is the brightest and biggest spotlight he's been in. He's had a great year. They cover.
All right.
Rhett.
I don't know why I do anything or why I pick certain ways, because when I read other guys' picks, I could go the other. There's lots of reasons to flip-flop. Chargers, no clue, but I'll take the points. Steelers, I love you, Jack. I'm going to go with your team, +10. I always take the Bills. It's non-debatable. Again, Packers, I feel like the Eagles win, but I think it's going to be close. And the Commanders have screwed me over too many times this year. I'm going to go with the Bucs.
There you go. Here's our pick king.
I don't like how everyone's on Pittsburgh.
Everyone.
I know.
I'm now going to go bet on Baltimore because when we're all on something, it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just 10
But we're on a big spread. It's not like we're saying Steelers win.
No, I know.
But we're all, it just feels like when this happens. Pittsburgh 10-2 in their history in division wildcard games, by the way.
So go again, Jack. Give us that.
10-2 against division opponents in the playoffs.
Straight up.
Wow.
Okay, what?
Pittsburgh 10-2 all time against division opponents in the playoffs.
So in the 60s, they were beating teams.
That's right. They hammered those Albuquerque Aztecs.
Bradshaw.
I don't have reason. Jack has reason, and his is more idiotic than mine.
Chuck Noll could really spin together a scheme.
Terry Bradshaw's going to be a difference maker tonight.
I might. I'll take Reds Bills 8.5. It's but the Bills are a wagon. This is the toughest game, it feels like, for me. The Eagles Packers. Jalen Hurts hasn't played in a couple weeks. He's had the concussion. the receiver drama all year, but I'm going to take them at home.
Flu now.
He's got the flu?
I don't know.
That's
He's got the
okay.
Packers flu.
Jesus. I'll take the Eagles -5. Buccaneers have the experience here. I like this side at home. Baker, a great season for the Commanders, but I'll take the Bucs at home. And then I'm with the Chargers as well. Houston just hasn't looked good ever since Diggs was hurt, Collins was hurt. They just never figured it out all year.
And now Tank Hill's hurt.
Yeah.
That Buccaneers, I feel like I feel like I'm being unfaithful.
Yeah.
Between McMillan and they've been so good to me.
Well, you're a pirate.
Won you $1,000 if I ever pay you.
They've been so good. But people that know things say that there's some injuries in the Buccaneers secondary that maybe they can that the passing game of the Commanders might finally be the team that could get to them. I don't know. I'll stick with it. I'll take the points. So does anyone now you can do a show pick or a team pick, or does anyone want to, now that everyone's on the Steelers, does anyone want to flip to the Ravens at the last minute?
I think we like our picks. That's why I made them.
All right.
It's just
I don't know why I made mine, but I'm going to stick with them.
Yeah, the show pick would be Pittsburgh this week.
So is that our show pick?
I don't know. What else did we agree on? Nothing.
Shit. Actually, why am I saying shit? I'd be happy for Jack.
I would be too. Imagine
points.
the euphoria next week.
Oh, the enthusiasm would be infectious for the rest of us.
When they lose by 9 and Baltimore advances, Jack's going to be doing backflips.
We also all picked the Bills. So
no,
I got Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're a dick. That's right.
Oh,
I think they win. It's 8.5.
I don't know. It's weird. Like we saw the Bills, lose to the Rams a few weeks ago and then also just blow teams up by 25-30. I don't know what we're going to get there.
Part of that is just kind of looking at the money, where the money's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Only 40% of the bets are on the Broncos, but almost 50% of the money.
So the Sharps are on Denver.
You
used to club Walker when he used this as an explanation. Just
it's
the sharp money's over here. It was the right pick.
And it's the same with Green Bay. Only 40% of all bets are on the Packers, but it's 52% now of the money is on Green Bay. And people like your Steelers, and this is at 9.5, not 10. 43% of the bettors, 52% of the money. So Sharps are on dogs this week.
There is something to be said of the Steelers keeping it, like the Bengals were hot. And needing to win that game.
And it could just you get to the fourth and a field goal here or a clunk off of a.
Yeah. You know what? I thought about that with the Baltimore game. Like Justin Tucker said, the worst year of his career by a mile. Like you were talking about 10 points, like one missed kick. It's like,
it feels like that could be a story, right?
It's
been all year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for it. It's going to be so good.
Great, boys. SO Minor plus 5 football games this weekend. Oh, baby.
I've got a hotel room booked. I'm
Good
all
for you,
by
buddy.
myself. Room service. I don't know if they have room service where I'm going. Well, regardless.
Can you get another parent to take your kid to the rink when you're at an away tournament?
Yeah.
I'm very busy.
I'm not at an away tournament. There's somebody else's.
Oh, okay. You're right. That'd be another level. Hey, I'm really bogged down. Could you take Junior to the game?
Hour early, coach. Let's 15 minutes before the game. Plenty.
Yeah. If they're there too early, they just get themselves into trouble. It's no good. Okay, so now what's happening in the chat? I haven't paid that close attention. I haven't had it on. I'm getting, and you talked about something at the start of the show about with the Zary, and I said something on Afterburner. What did I say, and what's happening?
No, our boy. I don't have the chat up in front of me, so maybe Jack can address that first. What's going on over there?
Okay, so
I said something about the guy, and now he's been off the show. What's happening?
You made Payne pretty upset.
Okay, what did I say?
So when we started the Afterburner and we got right into the Zary injury, you kind of made a snark comment saying, "Hey, we already kind of knew what happened because Payne had told us what the injury was."
Got a doctor there.
Yeah, we had a doctor there. He took that as a little bit the wrong way, and he's been very upset ever since.
Should have the comments on today.
So he during that show he was in the comments getting a little mad, and then he hasn't shown up since.
Well done, Dean.
Well, no, because I see it. It's Boomer needs to apologize. I don't know what outlandish comment I made that has everyone. So there's this one here. This is the dude. No MCL or ACL damage, like I told Dean, lol, but he had to take a shit on me because, get this, he hates people who know things. It made Dean furious to... I get furious about things.
This is beautiful.
Not that kind of stuff.
Someone's furious. I get that.
Well, and of all guys, he's been around. I'm a sarcastic dick.
It is.
It's just this time it wasn't Pinder on the receiving end; it was you.
Payne,
so
you had
for
one
that,
day in my seat. Yeah,
you know what I mean. You got to have some thick skin here, Payne. You got to be able to, this is how it goes on here. But if I offended you, I apologize.
You know what? I think next time we do an event, one big hug, it'll all be EV.
No hugs. No, I've had one. That's enough.
What do you mean, no hugs?
Hey, says, all right. There you go. So now I'm offended, and I need an apology because
he'll hug it out with you.
Being a dick.
He'll hug you.
There we go.
Love you, Payne.
We don't want to go in the weekend with bad blood.
You don't want to have that hanging over your head.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like sleeping at night.
I'm glad you addressed it, Dean.
I'm glad okay, because yeah.
As they say on Trailer Park Boys, it's all water under the fridge at this point.
All water under the fridge. And in fairness, we talk a lot on a 2-hour show. We're talking for about 2 hours or whatever it is. And the other night it was late.
Yes.
And all of that, I didn't.
Remember how excited you were to give away that trip to Winnipeg in January?
Yeah, pumped. Yeah, pumped for it.
That was the vibe that you were putting off that night.
Yeah, that's right. And listen, here's the thing. At the end of what's important is that hopefully he's right in that Zary doesn't have any major damage.
He seems to be on a better take than what we had.
Because he was talking about this, that there was this thing.
Cheer.
And okay, good. So, and lo and behold, you know what it is? We're smart. People that watch and listen are smart.
Even smarter. That's why it is an expert in deep space exploration. It's a very smart.
At our next live event,
mm-hmm.
I had a thing pop in my head. So.
Okay.
It's an aneurysm.
Do you want me to write it down?
At our next live event,
mm-hmm.
What about getting? I did this at the Halloween party at that house.
Coke?
What about getting the
Jesus,
those sumo suits, and we can have it out with whoever has an issue.
This is the worst. You've had some good ideas. This is about the worst.
Why?
I don't want to get in a sumo suit and wrestle people who are mad at me.
You live in a sumo suit. You get.
Hey, ho, ouch, that hurts.
Steve Payne, you just give it right back.
No,
I'm
offended. Now I'm not coming on the show for 2 days.
It would be fun. Why don't you? Who said you had to get in it? I'm just saying, if you've got issues with someone, you challenge them. Put on the suit. Let's go.
You know what it is, Dean? It's the opposite of this one.
It's this.
It's bring it out, get the suit on, and let's talk about our feelings.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
I've got it written down.
Suits I'm in, Red. There'll be a long line of people that want to give me a time.
I was going to say,
there's not getting out.
I get
if
one.
There
of the
was a list.
Rotate the other.
Yeah, I feel like if there was a sign-up sheet, pick which one. I wonder if Pinder might be
set up a ring.
We need a
and
second
have one
sheet.
of us in
Your
each
sign-up
quarter.
sheet is full.
Yeah.
Multiple
Tag
rings.
team match.
Perfect. So how do we does anybody, Jack, do you have a set of sumo suits hanging around there at the office?
Get them from the dome.
Get them on Amazon.
As if Rhett doesn't have
Do
some.
they still use them at Flames games or the?
But I'll bet you they're down.
I bet you they're there.
bowels.
What about the flood?
Flood.
Maybe they got because I haven't
seen
seen
them
them.
since the flood.
Good point.
Call Connie. He's got nothing else going on today.
Yeah.
Ask him.
He's got to wait till this team's good or bad. He can't do anything for weeks.
Oh, hey, Retro, I
Zary's
can't.
not playing Saturday.
I really can't talk about Zary. We don't know. We're waiting for the swelling. What? Sumo suits? I'm on the other line with Tree right now. Can I call you back? These are ideas. These are all good ideas. There's no bad ideas. We'll work through it. What's next week?
Oh, we'll be in the throes ESO minor.
It is
I was going to say
Blue Monday.
Oh, is that this Monday? Shit.
Because it's a busy week next week in terms of Flames games. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and then Saturday. But we're right in the teeth of it'll be the road trip, but early games. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of Flames stuff on the go next week.
Yep.
ESO minor. The Ringette girls are doing their thing. The Golden Ring is coming up.
Golden Ring.
Yeah.
Were you at Seton the other day, Dean?
I was potentially.
I saw your kids playing. Yeah, I was on the other rink.
Well, wasn't playing, but we practiced, so that wouldn't have been. But yeah, either way, yeah. How'd your team do?
Oh, we kicked the shit out of Parsons.
Come on, you know the coach.
Yeah.
Bull Valley too.
Yeah, that's right.
It's very
Friendly fire. B Valley.
Well, have a good trip to Medhat there, Retro. Safe trip. Pinder, whatever you do.
Yeah, we got ESO. You good?
Yeah.
Mike and Kent.
He'll be giving his best Keenan.
Yeah, I'll be doing my best Oli Jokinen impersonation of Mike Keenan.
Where is your heart?
You play number 1 team. You give fuck now. Number 5 team. We work hard. Practice this.
That's right. Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. And Jack,
go Steelers
every step of the way.
Every step of the way.
Stay hydrated, Jack. Leave a little glass of water.
Yes, Jack. Get those salts.
Yeah,
get those salts. Start doing.
You know that number in your phone. Delete that one too. Just be
6 o'clock game. Is that the kickoff tomorrow? 6.
Yeah, 6.
What's on the menu, Jack?
Oh boy,
frozen popcorn.
Yeah, I might have to get back into that again. That was good. Pizza.
Yeah.
Some nachos. It's a full day thing. It's not just one
It's
meal.
the night game. It's beautiful. It's going to work perfectly. You can watch the first game, get warmed up, have everything lined up. So good.
Make the dill pickle dip.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Go get it.
Oh, yeah, I can pull that up.
Yeah.
It's real good.
And M. Davis, keep an eye on your jacket, Jack, with a little bit of probably some solid. And it was requested you give us a quick screenshot and be like, what's this dill pickle dip? This is the Funker.
Funker.
Oh, wow.
Some cream cheese, mayo, some chopped dill, 8 teaspoons of pickle juice.
That's a lot.
Some fresh dill, some garlic powder. Mix it together with a mix until blended. Put her in the fridge.
That baby will be in your top 5 forever.
I'm doing it.
It's a serve with chips today. Or crackers.
How come today? Oh, because you want to refrigerate it.
Yeah.
All right. We've got our homework, man.
All right, man.
Send that to my wife. Okay.
You
not much fats in this.
I was gonna say, you got a lot of cream cheese and mayo kicking around?
Not really.
Not really. Appreciate you, buddies. Everybody have a good one. See ya. Buddies.